Hey guys, my name is Ryan Goldring, CPA here at Vision Books. I want to start off by saying Happy New Year, which also means that tax season is right around the corner. So in this video, I wanted to walk you guys through a couple of steps that you can take to prepare yourself and really get yourself ready for tax season, and also help your CPA out a bit, so that you guys can both work together and have relatively stress-free and hopefully pain-free tax season. So let's get started. Some of the key tax dates are coming up quickly here on the calendar for us. January 31st is the day that W-2s and 1099s must be sent out to employees and contractors. And that's a pretty key date. You're going to need all your payroll records to gather those up and be able to submit W-2s and 1099s. March 15, if your business is an S Corp or a partnership, your tax return is due by that date, or you'll need to file an extension. And April 15, the date we all generally know and love, is the big one. It's the deadline for most sole proprietors, LLCs, and corporations to file your tax returns, as well as any tax you might owe. Those are just some of the key dates coming up here pretty quickly to keep in mind. And I know as a small business owner and operator, you're generally busy on kind of running the day-to-day business. Sometimes these dates can kind of slip by. At Vision Books, we've got a free tax date notification service where we can send you a notification just to give you a heads up, even a week or two in advance, so that these are kind of on your radar and top of mind, so you know what to expect and when they're coming. You can definitely sign up for that on our website at getvisionbooks.com. I think the next part of getting situated and getting prepared for tax season is trying to understand what your CPA needs, and besides additional help, generally what your CPA is going to need is all your income records for the year, your expense records for the year, and payroll records for the year. So income, that can look like sales receipts, invoices, and if you're selling product or services through and getting paid through PayPal, something like Stripe, be good to be able to pull those reports together sort of on a month-by-month basis, be able to give those to your CPA, as well as bank statements for each month and each business bank account that you have. When it comes to expenses, I know several small business owners that their house is covered in paper receipts, and now would be a good time to start collecting those and figuring out what they were for, what they relate to, whether they were business related, personal. Now would be a good time to gather those up. This includes credit card statements as well. Any integrations or software or services that you would use in your day-to-day business that would track business expenses. Finally, payroll records. I know I mentioned W-2s and 1099s earlier here on January 31st. So I think that can be part of your process of issuing W-2s or 1099s, pulling those payroll records together. And as you're sort of getting organized and figuring out, what exactly you're going to be able to give your CPA, you can also check in on figuring out where your books are at. Did you sort of drop the ball halfway through the year? Are you kind of behind on 3 to 6 months? Or have you really not touched them for the entire year? A daunting task, to say the least, but we at Vision Books, if you want to give us a call, we could definitely jump in and help you get those cleaned up. Because if you hand unclean books off to your CPA right now at the beginning of tax season, the odds are high that you will not be their favorite client this year. But again, not the worst case scenario, but there are definitely steps you could take to try and better prepare or get those books cleaned up before you do send them off to a CPA. Next up, we've got just touching base with your CPA. Do you know who's going to file your taxes this year? I think that'd be pretty good to figure out about now if you don't have that figured out already. If you've been using a CPA or an accounting firm for a while, for a couple of years, have you heard from them yet? Because now would be a good time to reach out and say, hey, tax season is upon us. What can I do to help? What do you need from me? Set up a touch point with them. It'd be good to know, are you planning on filing an extension? Or are you planning on filing a return for my business? Because if your CPA is planning on filing an extension, you guys can definitely, if you find out whether or not you're filing an extension or you're actually filing a return, that could change some of the requirements or what your CPA might need from you. Maybe they, just need a little bit of information in order to file that extension rather than the whole binder, if you will, of income, sales receipts, expenses, and payroll records. But even if they are filing an extension, I would urge you to still compile those records anyways. You'll need them eventually. And it'll probably be easier to find this time around here in January, right after the year ended, than a couple months, several months into 2025. Another part of touching base with your CPA is figuring out what's the date they need all these documents by. That way you can get it on your calendar. You can have that in mind, because if your CPA, they're going to be extremely slammed, I'll be honest with you. And if you guys can both coordinate a certain date when you're going to give them all your receipts by, then they can plan their follow-up pretty timely. Everything won't be coming down to the wire and they're calling you in a panic asking, hey, what are these receipts? Can you tell me what this is? Or, hey, I'm missing a whole month of payroll. Like, where is it? With their back up against the wall, I think there's a lot that both parties can do to make this an easier and less painful tax season this time around. So there you have it. I think those are kind of the major keys to having a smoother tax season and getting organized. And again, none of these steps are anything crazy. I think getting organized starts with kind of the first small steps. And again, if at any point, you'd like about kind of important tax dates that are coming up, feel free you can sign up on our website at getvisionbooks.com. And if at any point you start taking a look at your books and you're like, wow, I'm a little bit more behind than I thought I was, feel free to give us a call. We can definitely work together to get your books cleaned up before you do hand them off to a CPA. So thanks so much. My name is Ryan, here with Vision Books, and I'll see you next time.